Welcome to the Better Buy, where I give you the information you need on the stuff that you want so you can make the better buy. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the differences, pros and cons between the X3 and the Go 3 and why the X3 has become my go-to camera. Let's dive into it. So first off, if you want my deep dive on the Go 3, there's a link popping up in the top right that is a playlist to everything that I've ever covered about the Go 3. All right, I'm going to be doing more of that with the X3. It's just a whole lot more of a video, and so I want to make sure that I get all the information that I want to share in a succinct manner, okay? So at the end of the day, no matter which specs I give you, what reasons I say, I keep grabbing the X3 over the Go 3 whenever I go out to film. So I just want to put that out there at the beginning, like, whatever the thing is, the sensor size, the camera, the angle, the 360 versus the portability, the wireless display, pick whatever your thing is, I keep grabbing this one, okay? So that's something that I just want to say out of the box. When you're looking at a $100 difference between these two cameras and you're already at a $400 to $500 price point, I would pick this one basically every single time if I had to only buy one of these again, because I just keep grabbing this one. All right. Now let's talk about some of the differences between them and why maybe the Go 3 is better for you, but I think the X3 is the one you should get. Okay. So first off, the main benefit of the Go 3 is the wireless display. Okay. And the small camera itself. All right. It's extremely easy to put this thing in places that obviously this guy cannot go. That's a no-brainer. However, what I have found is that for most uses, you're not regularly needing something this small. And when it doesn't have to be this small, this is the one that I pick every time. The only time that I have found myself grabbing the Go 3 over the X3 is when I need the wireless display, and I'll show you that in just a second for something that I've been doing recently, or, and this is just more of a simplicity and post thing, is I don't want to have to edit the 360 footage, because you have to go back and pick stuff out if you're filming in 360. But the thing is, if you want to just use one lens with the X3, you can do that in 4K. This guy only has the one lens option. So what I've found also is, for my filming situations, I never even want to use the one lens. I just want to use the 360 film and film like this, and then I get a much more unique angle than a one lens camera can give you. So I'm definitely an X3 fan. That's the one that I love. This is not sponsored or affiliated. I bought both of these cameras with my own money, and I just simply really like this one, okay? Now, let's talk about some of the cons of the X3. These are reasons why I wouldn't get the X3 if you're in a place trying to decide between these two, okay? The reason that I wouldn't get the X3 is because the double lens does require more careful use, all right? You got to watch out in case you're, doing something just a little active. Obviously, these are action cameras, but you do need to be more careful, because having two lenses means you can't just set this guy down on stuff. You'll scratch the other lens. I've had to modify the way that I use this camera just to be careful of that. Basically, I never go anywhere without this rubber thing. But as long as I carry that with me, I'm good to go, okay? Like, there's no issue there. So that's one thing. The other thing is, when you're dealing with the 360 footage, you have to know that you're going to spend more time in post working with this camera's footage, whatever it is you got, because you're going to need to reframe your shot. But I actually see that as a bonus. Instead of saying I have to reframe my shot, I see it as I get to reframe my shot. So as long as this thing is in the right position when I'm filming, I can pick any angle I want in post, which allows you to kind of film once and make 3 different videos, 4 different videos, which is what I've been doing. If you're someone on social media right now who's trying to create content on multiple platforms, not only does this let you go 16:9 and 9:16, it also lets you get this angle, and then that angle, and then this angle, and wider and closer. And what you can do is you can repurpose a ton of your footage from this camera over a couple of months or weeks, and it just still looks like new material because it's a truly new angle. And so that's something that I really think that's a great benefit of the X3 over the Go 3. And outside of just the post-editing process and maybe the 2 lenses, I don't see a lot of reason why this would be worse for someone than the Go 3. All right. Now, one thing that I have loved is I've been using this bike mount for basically running with my daughter. And I put the X3 on this pole over here, and then I just drop the Go 3 in this quick release mount for the, oops, I think I just hit the button to, yep, no I didn't. And then what I do is I have this as a wireless display. So I've basically got a wireless monitor filming my daughter on the inside so we can have dialogue back and forth, which is a lot of fun. But also I can stop and start the recording without having to go to the camera. Like if this was a Action 4 or a GoPro 12, like, and I could technically still fit it inside the stroller, but anytime I wanted to film her, I would have to stop running, go around, press record, come back, or I would just have to hit record and film for 30 minutes. With this thing, I can literally just have it sitting here, and whenever I want to record, press record. Whenever I want to stop, stop. If I want to turn the camera off, turn it off. And then if for some reason the battery's going low, I can just go over, pop it off the quick release, throw it back on here for a little bit while I'm running, let it charge up, and then keep going. And that is a really nice feature of the Go 3. So if you're someone that is regularly wanting a wireless display for whatever it is you're doing, then the Go 3 is a great camera for that. And it's going to have that portability to do the head mount and the chest mount and then other little small places. But I don't think that the size should be the main reason you go for the Go 3. I think most people, when they're using it, aren't going to benefit from the smaller size on a regular basis. Like this camera could technically still fit in the stroller. I've even thought about it because I have 2 of these as well, but the reality is I would have to go around to start the recording. I'm going to pick the Go 3 over the X3 in that situation because I want the wireless monitor, and that's the benefit of this camera. So I would say that's really what it comes down to, is if you need the wireless monitor, then the Go 3 is the one for you, even though the quality is not quite as good. It only goes to 2.7K, whereas this can get to 4K. But in every other situation, I just choose this. If you only want one lens, you can film with just one lens. I don't know why you'd ever do that. Personally, just for my use cases, I always use the 360 and then I do whatever I want to in post. So I hope this video maybe gave you some things to think about between the 2 cameras. If nothing else, comment down below if there's something you'd like to know more about. I am working on a much deeper dive with the X3 that I hope is going to be something that just helps the internet out in general. But I'm trying to cover stuff along the way as I go as well. So overall, been very happy with this camera. I highly recommend it. If your main concern is quality, I will say this because I get this question all the time since I've been doing a lot of Insta360 stuff, is that if your main issue is camera quality, image quality, then the Action 4 or the GoPro 12 are better. All right, like there's no question. The video quality on those 2 cameras is just so much better. But I truly believe that 360 footage is the next thing for cameras. And if this camera had GoPro 12 or Action 4 sensor quality, I think what you would find is more people would be diving into this, and I see that as the future of videography. And what that means is the sooner you get into it, the further ahead of the curve you're going to be when things really start to move that direction. Kind of like 4K and 5K, 6K, 8K, RAW, all that kind of stuff. So I would say the link's in the description for the bundle that I have, but if you're someone that's wanting to stay ahead of the curve on videography, then the 360 camera is a great way to get in. It's a nice entry point for just $500. It's not like those super expensive 360 cameras, and you're going to start to learn a lot about how to film with it, the things you can do with it, the creativity you can have with it, and I do think that novel experience is going to start to just get into the market, and more people are going to start to want to see things like that, and it's going to be a huge benefit to be ahead of the curve on that. So that's one of the main reasons I'd say to go with the 360 camera. But again, this isn't sponsored. If neither one of these cameras is the right one for you, don't get one, but I think that everything that I've said should let you know which one is the right one for you if you're interested, and I've got a whole lot more coming. So hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.